So welcome parents, guardians, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, great-grandparents, friends, neighbors, Brother Joe, faculty, staff, board members, and band members. Thank you all for coming to support us today. I would also like to welcome the great class of 1965 and our class, the class of 2015. As I wrote my welcome the other day, I couldn't help but consider what brought such a diverse group of people together today. We are all here because we received a piece of paper, an invitation to come to celebrate together. In fact, this whole ceremony is about receiving pieces of paper. Just as I opened with a welcome, the first thing we, as students, received from CBA was a welcome. It was a piece that came in the mail, telling us that we were accepted into the class of 2015. The next year, we were wandering the halls of CBA, and every 6 weeks, we received another piece of paper, a report card, which told us how we were doing academically. And now, during this ceremony, we will receive the piece of paper that ends our journey as CBA students. But we receive so much more than a collection of pieces of paper. The first thing we received is the LaSallian Catechism. St. John Baptist de La Salle told his first teachers to touch the hearts of your pupils and to inspire them that the Christian spirit is the greatest miracle you can perform, and one which God expects of you. Each and every teacher here on this stage takes that mission upon himself or herself and strives to be more than just a vehicle of knowledge. We as students recognize the LaSallian teaching we received from our teachers. We will never forget Mr. Keogh's inspirational speeches, which often had nothing to do with math, but had a lot to do with us as human beings. We will never forget that Mr. Haran's room is open from 7:30 in the morning all the way to 5 in the evening when he finally leaves for home. And we will never forget Ms. Steadman's incredible ability to offer emotional support to anyone who needed it. Our teachers modeled the ideal LaSallian educator every day, and received an education that developed the whole person because of it. The second thing we received from CBA is a love of learning. We often focused too much on those pieces of paper that came every 6 weeks telling us how well we did on the last marking period. Sometimes that focus led us to lose sight of the joy of learning, but those pieces of paper don't really mean anything. After we forget that H2O is a polar molecule and can no longer take the derivative of x squared, I hope we will remember how much fun we had in the classroom. We will remember Dr. Infanti, or Doc, throwing protons at us and explaining that as we spin, we somehow form ATP. We will remember galloping around Mr. Benmer's room to the beat of the drum as we chanted our sonnets. We will remember cursing Mr. Harmon for refusing to tell us what we need to know, and instead just burying us in worksheets. But then experiencing the joy of figuring out a physics concept on our own. We will remember charging across the fields of Gettysburg with Miss Feldman as we experienced history, then retreating back to her classroom and discussing conspiracy theories until everyone was in on it. On behalf of the class of 2015, I want to thank the CBA teachers for inspiring us to love learning. The final and most distinct thing we received from CBA is the CBA family. 50 years ago, each member of the class of 1965 received a piece of paper, ending his journey as a student at CBA. About a year ago, each member of the class received another piece of paper, calling him back to celebrate our graduation and their jubilee. And here they are. But the pieces of paper did not bring them here today. What brought them here today is everything else they received from CBA. But most importantly, they are here because they are part of our CBA family. And now here we are, the class of 2015, preparing to receive that piece of paper that ends our journey as CBA students. We will be able to hold that piece of paper up proudly and say that we graduated from Christian Brothers Academy. But the truly great things we receive cannot be written on a piece of paper. They have been written on our soul and changed how we view the world forever. Thank you, CBA, for all we have received.